Hey, I'm Robert Scoble, and we're at TechCrunch Disrupt 2014 in San Francisco, and we're seeing lots of cool startups, but some companies that have been around for a while, some of my old favorites. If you don't know, Rackspace uses Concur. We're all supposed to use Concur for our travel, and Concur also owns TripIt, which I also use. So we're going to hear about that right now. Who are you?
So I'm John Dietz from Concur. I'm VP of Platform Marketing. So basically last year we opened up, Concur's been in business for 21 years in expense and travel management, and now we've opened that up starting last year as a platform so other folks can participate, ISVs. So we're here at TechCrunch supporting the Hackathon yesterday, and then looking at all the new companies that have come out here.
Let's talk about the Hackathon. Why would a company like Concur do a Hackathon? I have a feeling, because I do the same thing.
Right.
But what do you guys get out of doing a hackathon?
So we have this concept called the perfect trip, and in the perfect trip, it's different. The perfect trip's different for you as it is for me, right?
Yep.
So I may want to stay at a different hotel. I may require different things, and to make that happen, to make that a reality, we realize that we won't be able to do all the development ourselves. Yeah. So the goal is to bring partners in to do that development. So at the hackathon, we get a lot of people that can create solutions in 24 hours, and we can really see where we need to, bolster the platform or add to the platform, or even just understand what can be possible.
Yeah, Concur's been around for a few years now, right? I forget when you were founded.
Yeah, it's 21 years now.
21 years. Yeah. So you're not quite the new sexy startup like Uber. We just saw Travis on stage here. What are the challenges for a little bit older company to integrate with the developers who are doing new wearable apps and new mobile apps, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so we have been around for a while, and we have a great installed base, but I think we don't try and be the Uber, but you may have noticed we just partnered with Uber last month, Uber and Airbnb. So I think because we've been around, we have about over 2/3 of the Fortune 500 as our customer base. We can bring that customer base to these new innovative products. So I think that's the value we bring. So we try and be innovative in our own right, but as a platform, I think introducing these solutions to the customer at the right time is where we bring value.
You're almost the standard now for a big enterprise customer to use for travel planning, right? Why is that?
Yeah, I think
because Rackspace uses it, so I assume it's the standard.
Yeah, we'll go with that. No, I think it is. It's all about focus, right? We only do travel and expense management. We have I think we're about 4,000 people now, and we focus on that area exclusively. So everything we do, when we wake up to when we go to sleep, it's all about getting rid of that expense report for you after you travel, and to make your business travel more efficient. So.
Yeah. You mentioned Uber and Airbnb. How is the travel business changing around you, around the travel planning systems like Concur?
Yeah, so I think the way I kind of see it is there's two aspects. One, traditional companies, when we also announced in that time frame, Starwood, United, and so I think
probably Star Alliance, or
so traditional companies, they are being more innovative, as well as our customers are demanding. I think on Airbnb year over year we've seen a 27x increase in bookings.
Yeah.
So we can see that because we have a view into what everybody expenses.
So that's really interesting data. Are you taking that back to the hotel industry and saying, hey, you guys are losing customers to Airbnb, here's what you should be doing with your properties, or are you working in that realm?
So we'll share, sharing data, that's always always key. So in fact, our platform, you can think of it as we don't share data that our customers don't let us share. Yeah. And in fact, our platform, what it is as is key is a way for customers or individuals like yourselves to share data with another company. Yeah. And so from sharing data, we'll take that. We produce a couple reports a year that talk about that, but in general, we share your own data with you, but we won't share your data with someone else.
When does a company need a Concur? For instance, I assume a lot of startups just let their employees, book on, the airline sites or use something like Hipmunk or something like that, right, to find flights. When does a company need to decide, hey, this kind of thing of you going to Hipmunk or to Kayak and buying your tickets ain't cool anymore. Let's use Concur. Yeah.
Well, I think it's all good as long as you're staying in the policy. And so every company's different on what they think policy or is not in policy.
You mean not flying business class?
Right. And so what happens on the expense side is after the CFO sees this crazy expensing getting out of control, that's when they want you to book up front from a managed travel point of view.
Yeah.
But we see customers, large and small, book both inside and outside. So I think it's about 2 years old. We have a product or a initiative called TripLink, which allows you to actually book outside the system. And for our TripLink customers, we can bring those bookings inside so they can still be managed inside. And the policies still can be looked at inside while you're booking.
Interesting.
So that's kind of where we see it going, right?
What's the benefit to a CTO or a CFO at an enterprise like Rackspace to use Concur? What's the sales process like? And what does the big company get out of using Concur than some other system to book travel?
Yeah, so I think our primary customer is either kind of the CFO, office of the CFO, or the travel manager. And depending on company size, some companies won't have somebody in charge of travel management, but that's our core customer. And they're trying to control spend. So outside of salary, expense and all the expenses are the second highest level of spend that they can have control over. And so I think that's the primary benefit that they get. There's also, especially in larger companies, duty of care. So when Concur sends me from Seattle, Washington down here on a trip, they have some level of duty of care where they're responsible for me as a traveler. And so these were really prominent when nobody cares about it when it's all good, but like when there's an earthquake in Napa and you have travelers in that area, or there's a volcano that goes off and disrupts all travel to Europe, then it becomes a big issue where your people are. So we can help keep track of that also.
It's also, well, with airlines, sometimes it's hard to get flexibility out of them. I've hit some of that with one of my partners. Does Concur get involved with that or provide an additional layer of service on top of the airlines to take care of problems of booking things or moving things around?
We have a lot of our larger companies have travel management companies that work with the individual enterprises to manage that feature.
Yeah.
So for instance, when I book travel in Concur Travel, it actually gets booked by a TMC or a travel management company. And that telephone number is actually in the Concur app when I open it up, and if I want to change travel, I could change it in the app or I can just call somebody. Yeah. So that kind of extra level of service is what a lot of corporations kind of provide to their employees.
No, that's really cool. What are you hoping to get out of TechCrunch Disrupt? There's, 40 or 50 startups behind you. What kind of startups are you hoping to get in touch with, and what kind of people do you want around the world to contact you?
Yeah, so not only did we open up our platform, and so we kind of offer two sets of APIs. One set that allows you to look, and this is kind of general categories, but you can view into somebody's expenses and post expenses for them to make it easier, or you can look at their itineraries that we've booked. So we at any one time have a view of into about 100 million combined expenses and itineraries across the world. So it's a crazy huge number. So of those travel apps that have focused in the leisure market for a long time, leisure market's great, a lot of folks, but a business traveler travels about 5x times more per year, and they're all by definition employed. So you don't get my 14-year-old daughter in the business travel market, and so it's a very lucrative market. So in addition to opening the platform, we actually have an app center that we put in front of our customers, that when you have a solution that's a better together solution with Concur, we'll put it in front of our customers.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so, and just one more thing. In addition, so what we'll be talking to all these guys about is October 30th in San Francisco, we have our developer conference, where as part of that developer conference, we have a fund, $150 million Perfect Trip Fund, and we will give 2 awards away during the conference. One is, they're both $50,000 investments. One's for the best enterprise travel solution, and one's for the best travelers solution.
And how do you apply to be part of that hackathon or that contest?
So if you go to developer.concur.com,
Yep.
you can apply there. There's a DevCon page kind of off that link, and that's kind of the best way.
Very cool. Well, thanks for dropping by and
Thank you. Appreciate
showing me, talking to me about what's happening at Concur.
Yeah.
And thanks for helping us get places around the world.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.